folks, you saw the title, Jerry Reed, Alabama Wild Man. It was requested by Mike Savage. So, Mike, thank you for this request, my friend. I'm cracking up because Jerry Reed is very funny. And I don't know, did you say something like this is an up-tempo fun song? I don't know, something in my brain, Mike, said that was part of the comments, but maybe not. Maybe I just read that into it, or I saw. I'll go on Reddit once in a while and look at what's happening over there in a country music thread, and I'll glean information or even get reaction ideas. But Alabama Wild Man, ever since I reacted to Amos Moses, Jerry Reed, who was the snowman in Smokey and the Bandit movies, was the dude's just funny. And he's really talented.
Well, my daddy was a hard-shelled Alabama preacher. My mama was a dedicated Sunday school teacher. My brother went to college, got a PhD. Daddy said the only dud in the family was me. He said, boy, you ain't never gonna amount to a thing. You sit around with that silly-looking guitar and sing. You hang around them juke joints most of your time, making music like some wild man done lost his mind going, ooh, hook it. Now what's that supposed to mean? And sock it to me. You just a wild man, boy. Well, one day Daddy told me, boy, I've had enough. You pack up that guitar, you just pack up your stuff. So I left with my guitar and organized me a band. Called myself the Alabama Wild Man. Well, I worked in every joint from New York to the Gulf, singing songs for pennies, never making enough. Many nights I lived on coffee and cold sardines, soda crackers and pork and beans. But friends, I finally went to Music City, USA. Said I'm the Alabama Wild Man, folks. I'm here to stay. Took my guitar and showed them what I was talking about. So we made a little record and we put it out with me going, hook it, boy, hook it. Hook it again.
Do it again.
Socket to that guitar.
He's a really good guitarist.
Well, now I'm driving Cadillacs a city block long, and the Alabama Wild Man can do no wrong. Cause I'm selling them records, and I'm working them shows, and people love me everywhere I go. But friends, a funny thing happened about a week or so back. I worked a show in my hometown, and the place was packed. And guess who was sitting out on the front row seat? Was my daddy, grinning up at me, patting his feet, yelling, "Sock your daddy, wild man! Hook it, boy, hook it! Play that guitar, son, show him!" Yeah, that's my boy, all right. Taught him everything he knows. Bought me first guitar. Keep them checks coming in, boy. We gonna pave the drive next week.
We're going to pave the drive next week. Well, I wonder how much truth there was to that. He didn't throw his father under the bus, but he threw his father under the Cadillac. So, the Cadillac, that's a city block long. It's just one of those stories where, yeah, I mean, parents want to guide their kid. I mean, parents who care and have a good sense of balance. They want to guide their kids into directions that are going to work. Kids get these dreams and ideas, but they don't know how, quote unquote, the real world works. But there's a balance to be struck. I mean, there are many people who've been who were talked out of pursuing a given career, and it was a smart move. They didn't waste their time. They went into something that worked way better than what might have turned out. But here's the rub with that. They don't know it wouldn't have worked out because they didn't pursue it. They got talked out of it. That happened in part with me with law. There was an article that had come, my father's Bible was Time magazine, and there was an article that had come out, I don't know, a year or two before I was going to graduate college, and I wanted to go to law school. And the article in Time magazine was basically that there were too many lawyers out there. So, that's my father's like, oh, you don't want to go into law. There's too many lawyers. But it was like, yeah, I really did want to go into law. And my professors even unsolicitedly told me that I think very much like a lawyer. I was a philosophy major, so you do learn to think from multiple perspectives. But my business law professors, a tax law professor, criminal justice, unsolicitedly would just say, you think like a lawyer. And they didn't mean that negatively. They just meant I saw multiple sides of things, but I never went into law. My ex and I opened a business and it succeeded very well. So that was wonderful. But I still wonder, I would have loved to have been a constitutional lawyer. That would have been the area that I would have loved to have gone into, whether it's arguing cases or writing briefs or somewhere in the area of law in the judicial system. So I hear a song like this and I'm like, all right. And then his father's in the front row taking credit for it. And it's like, oh, that was, I don't know. This struck me as a real story, it happened to Jerry in this regard. He didn't sing it in a nasty, mean way. It was up tempo. It was happy. He sang it happy, but it's almost like his father was like, keep those checks coming in. We're going to pave the drive next week. Okay, all right. How about apologize to your son further? Son, I had it wrong. You had it right. Kudos to you for not listening to me. Everything's good after that, for the most part. But daddy's in the front row and he's all kinds of happy. So, Toby Keiths, how do you like me now? People don't believe in you. They poo-poo you. I don't understand that. I don't understand killing a dream. I understand as a parent trying to guide your kid in certain directions, and you might say something like, look, go ahead, pursue this guitar thing, this music thing, but have a backup plan. So put some additional time into playing gigs or whatever you could get, but have a backup plan. Don't put all your eggs in this one basket. It's sort of like folks who want to become professional athletes. Every kid who plays football or basketball or baseball or tennis or soccer, lacrosse, thinks, man, if I get good enough, maybe I'll make it to the pros one day. But for the most part, you're not gonna. There's very few spots on rosters, and you better be real good. So, all right, I'm gonna rate this one, Mike. It was a fun ditty of a song. The number that struck me right away was an 8.9. So Ed, Jeff, possibly Steve Swags, if Ed's enlisted you, Steve, yet in hunting me down. I'm in Zimbabwe, but you do not know. I could be in Zimbabwe, the country. I could be in Zimbabwe, New Jersey. I could be in Zimbabwe, Idaho. There's Zimbabwe's everywhere. You just don't know about them. But 8.9, and it was on the strength in the very end when he said his father's like, keep them checks coming in. We're going to pave the drive. It's like, oh, all right. I like that twist in the end. Otherwise, it would have gotten a lower score. That twist brought it right on back. So there it is. All right, guys. Subscribe if you've made it this far. That'd be great. Thank you. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.